January 2020, planetary transits for Scorpio and Scorpio rising. This is an equal house chart set up for 0 degrees Scorpio on the ascendant, Eastern Standard Time, New York. We begin January 1st, 2020, with 5 planets in Capricorn in the 3rd house sector. The Sun at 10 degrees Capricorn, Mercury at 4 degrees, Jupiter at 6 degrees, Saturn at 21 degrees, and Pluto at 22 degrees of Capricorn. In the 1st house, we have the planet Mars at 28 degrees of Scorpio. Venus is placed at 14 degrees of Aquarius in the 4th house sector. In the 5th house, we have the planet Neptune at 16 degrees of Pisces, with the moon at 18 degrees. Uranus is placed at 2 degrees of Taurus in the 7th house, retrograde. On January 10th, Uranus will turn direct motion at 2 degrees Taurus, 39 minutes, 8:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please note, if you know your astrological chart, don't forget to look at the natal condition of the 2 planets involved in transit. For example, if transiting Sun is square transiting Saturn in space on that day, first check to see if the Sun and Saturn form an aspect in your birth chart by conjunction, opposition, square, trine, or sextile. If it does, blend the quality of the transiting aspect with the quality of the natal or birth aspect. This rule should also be applied to planetary transits to natal planets. If transiting Saturn is square your natal moon, first look at the natal condition between the moon and Saturn. Should there be a natal trine between moon and Saturn, then a problem will arise transiting square, but will be resolved. Natal trine. On January 2nd, Mercury conjuncts Jupiter in the 3rd house and brings the possibility of good news in relation to a new field of study, relatives, or those in your day-to-day world. On January 3rd, Mars enters Sagittarius and moves into the 2nd house sector. January 10th brings the full moon, 2:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at 20 degrees of Cancer in opposition to the Sun at 20 degrees of Capricorn, spanning houses 9 and 3, bringing important news and communication concerning international connections, legalities, education, siblings, relatives, or neighbors. With the planet Mercury conjunct the Sun in the 3rd and oppose the Moon in the 9th house, today will be busier than usual, including an increase in your daily travel. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction culminates on January 12th at 22 degrees of Capricorn in your 3rd house sector. Please refer to my in-depth videos on the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Over the past 18 months, hopefully, the foundation was laid for a new beginning. Use January 12th and 13th under the powerful conjunction of Mercury, Sun, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn to review whether or not the new framework is solid, determine what has been accomplished and what still needs to be implemented or improved upon. Write a to-do list, get organized, and get it done to take full advantage of the magnificent Jupiter-Pluto conjunction of 2020. The planet Venus enters Pisces on January 13th and moves into the 5th house. On January 16th, Mercury enters Aquarius and moves into the 4th house. Mercury square Uranus on January 17th or 18th, depending on your location, between houses 4 and 7 could indicate upsetting or unexpected news from a partner. Be diplomatic and flexible in your response. The Sun enters the sign of Aquarius on January 20th and moves into the 4th house. On January 22nd or 23rd, depending on where you live. Under the Sun square Uranus, between houses 4 and 7, you can expect the unexpected. This day will not go according to your plans, especially in relation to close personal partners and family members. January 24th brings the new moon at 4 degrees of Aquarius, 4:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the 4th house sector, bringing a fresh start with your home and family relationships over the month ahead. This new moon is in square aspect to Uranus in the 7th house, so leave room for the unexpected. The planet Venus will square Mars on January 26th between houses 5 and 2, activating your romantic and sexual needs. On another level, this energy may manifest as a clash with a loved one over money. Also, impulsive spending in the pursuit of pleasure and entertainment should be curbed, especially if you can't really afford it. Restraint is advised. On January 27th, Venus conjunct Neptune in the 5th house could see you over idealizing a loved one or feeling disillusioned by them. At the very least, this energy could give you the desire to escape into romantic daydreams. Taking place in the 5th house, a candlelit dinner at a quiet restaurant would be the perfect setting for saying, I love you. If you're creatively inclined, expect this energy to heighten your perceptions and sensitivity for inspired output. The Mars square Neptune energy of January 28th, between houses 2 and 5, warns you to avoid dealing aggressively with a loved one or potential romantic partner. The square energy is one of blockage and frustration, and joined with the planet Neptune, ego defeats will be the result. On another level, the energy behind this square can bring a great deal of power and intensity to your creative output.